It is so common for victims of narcissistic abuse to feel stuck after the relationship ends, whether it's for days, years, or sometimes even decades. The relationship might be over, but you feel as if you're stuck in survival. You're not fully living, and the trauma from the past is still affecting you every day. And it's not because you don't want to heal. You do. You want to heal. But your nervous system, your brain, and even your body are keeping you trapped in survival mode. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to break that down. We're going to look at why it happens and ultimately how to finally move forward after narcissistic abuse. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Michele. I'm a somatic experiencing practitioner and the founder of the School of Transformation, which is where I meet live on Zoom every week and I do the inner work with survivors from all over the world of childhood trauma together. Here on my YouTube channel, we talk about what healing is about, what it looks like, the symptoms of unhealed trauma. But in the School of Transformation, we do the inner healing together. So if you're ready to take the next step, make sure you join me weekly on Zoom. Let's first start with 10 reasons why narcissistic abuse victims stay stuck. And I'm hoping that this helps you to normalize what you're experiencing. Number one is chronic stress hormones keep you stuck. The truth is, relationships with narcissistic people create so much stress, and long-term stress or chronic abuse floods your body with hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which wire you for survival, which means you wind up getting stuck constantly in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Now, if you were being chased by a bear or a wild animal, then those stress hormones are needed. But with narcissistic abuse, it's like you're being chased by a predator 24/7. And then even when the danger's gone, your body still acts like it's right behind you. And so this keeps you exhausted, hypervigilant, and unable to ever fully relax. Number two is the fawn response, which keeps you stuck in people pleasing. Many survivors fall into the fawn trauma response, where we stifle who we really are in order to make someone else happy. And so ultimately, it's almost like the only way you think you can feel safe is by keeping the abuser happy. And so this makes it nearly impossible to set boundaries or even advocate for yourself. This is a coping mechanism that we often learn in childhood if we had a chaotic environment in our childhood where we couldn't fight, we couldn't flee, and so we learned that the only way to stay safe was to keep the other person calm, soothe the other person, and stay small. And so now that survival mechanism that was learned in childhood is carried out into your adult life. Number three is limiting beliefs like I'm bad wind up keeping you stuck. Because narcissistic abuse plants these deep-rooted beliefs like I'm unlovable, I deserve this, or I'm broken, deep into your subconscious mind. And so these beliefs become your truth even when they're based on lies. It's like wearing a pair of dark sunglasses your entire life. And so the world has always looked dark. So you automatically assume that that's just the way the world is, when in reality, it's just the lens that you were given. Number four is the fear of feeling safe. Now, that sounds kind of strange, but the reality is if chaos was your normal, then peace actually feels and registers as danger to your body. Your nervous system doesn't trust safety because it's unfamiliar. It's almost like a prisoner who spent 20 years behind bars. When they're finally freed, the outside world can feel overwhelming. In fact, sometimes they even want to go back to what's familiar. Well, that's what it can feel like to your body. Your own body feels more normal in a lack of safety than actually learning how to embody safety. Number five is the freeze response, which feels like depression. So some survivors stay stuck because their nervous system simply shut down to protect them. It's called the freeze response, and it's a survival mechanism that makes you feel numb, detached, and unmotivated. Your nervous system basically gets stuck playing possum, right? Playing dead. It's not choosing to give up. It's just that the nervous system is overriding the ability to move thinking that it's keeping you safe by doing so. And this is when we actually feel like we're literally fighting against our own body. The mind wants to move on, but the body's stuck playing possum in freeze and doesn't let you. Number 6 is trauma bonds feel like love, especially to those that had some sort of emotional trauma or narcissistic abuse in childhood as well. Because the brain wires itself to crave predictable pain over unpredictable safety. And so that's why survivors often miss or even return to their abuser. We can liken this to being addicted to a slot machine. You know it's mostly pain, but that one time you get a hit of kindness, your brain clings to it. It deletes all the pain and strives to continue on until it gets it again. The 7th reason that we can often stay stuck is because shame can feel more comfortable than self-love. Again, we have to remember that so many survivors wind up stuck in the belief that there's something wrong with me. The reason why my family, my parents, my significant other doesn't love me, right, doesn't make sense, because if no one else loves you, you know your family's going to love you. And when that doesn't happen, we can get stuck in that belief that there's something wrong with me. And then that becomes our truth. Living in that belief becomes comfortable because it's all we've ever known. It's like living in a dark cave for years. And so the idea of stepping into the light sounds painful, even though it's exactly what you need. Well, that's what happens when we have that belief, there's something wrong with me. And the reality is that the moments where we tried to have self-love, we were often punished for it. And so our nervous system has what we call in somatic experiencing overcouplings, two things that are glued together that don't belong together. Like self-love is bad. Self-love means I'm selfish. Something bad will happen if I do something that I love. And so now our body is programmed to avoid self-love. Number 8 is identity confusion. Identity confusion keeps you afraid to grow. Long-term narcissistic abuse erases your sense of self. You don't know who you are anymore. And so stepping into a new identity can feel terrifying. It makes me think of when a writer has writer's block. They can have a blank page in front of them, but they're like stuck with where to start. Well, we can have like identity block. We don't even know who we are. We don't know what we like anymore, and we don't know where to start. Number 9 is the body holds trauma like a time capsule. You see, trauma isn't just in the mind, it's stored in the body. And that's why traditional therapy alone usually isn't enough to help us to move past it. Think of trauma like a splinter. If it stays in your skin, the wound never fully heals. You can talk and talk and talk about it, but the wound will only heal when you gently remove it from the body. And the last thing, it's not an all-inclusive list, but the last thing I'm going to mention for the sake of this video that winds up keeping us stuck is the fact that healing feels like losing a part of yourself. If you've been stuck in survival mode for years, for decades, part of you might even be afraid to heal because it feels like losing the identity you've come to know for so long. It's like a caterpillar fearing the transformation into a butterfly. The unknown is scary. But remember, staying the same isn't an option either. So those are 10 things that tend to keep narcissistic abuse victims stuck. I'd love to know in the comment section below which ones you identify with and maybe which ones I've missed. But let's shift into what we can start doing about it, because if we just look at this information and we validate ourselves, we realize, oh yes, this is happening with me. Well, that's helpful head knowledge, but healing is about learning, well, what do we do about it? So I'm going to give you 10 tips that can help, but first I want to tell you what the worst thing you can do is that winds up prolonging your healing. So what is the worst thing you can do? And let me tell you, I am completely guilty of it, but it's trying to heal through your mind alone. It's what I tried to do the first few years of my healing, which wound up prolonging my recovery as well. Which is one of the reasons I'm so passionate about sharing this information, is because I want to help you learn from what I learned to do right, but also from what I learned to do wrong. So trying to heal through your mind alone, trying to intellectualize your way through healing doesn't work, because trauma is not stored in those areas of our mind that we use when we're learning. It's stored in the body. And so healing requires experiencing safety, not just talking about it. And if you don't believe me, think about it. If you don't feel safe, if you don't feel like you've moved on, if you don't feel like you're living your best self right now, right? And you think about doing the things you want to do, things that allow you to live in harmony with who you really are. If as you think about doing those things, your body gets uncomfortable, it's because there are stories stuck in the body. Your mind can agree to move on. Your mind may want to do all those things that are really in harmony with who you really are, but your body's on a different program. And so that's why we have to learn how to embody this recovery journey. So here are some things that are involved in healing, and I want to be transparent. It's very difficult to apply these things, to embody these things often on our own, which is why I'm always highlighting the School of Transformation. It really is designed to help you to learn how to embody the information that I put on my channel. So don't forget to check out that resource. Tip number 1, healing is about retraining your nervous system to recognize that the danger is over. With trauma, it's almost like the narcissist can be gone, but to our body, the trauma is still happening. So something that's really helpful in updating your nervous system is somatic experiencing. I really encourage you to look into that resource. Tip number 2 is about learning how to break out of the fawn trauma response and to start prioritizing your own safety over external approval. Now, that's a lot easier said than done, because doing so also involves building the capacity to be with people that are upset, people that are disappointed, and people that disagree with you. Tip number 3, we will never feel healed. We will always feel like we're still suffering, even if the abuse has ended, if we're still living in the negative beliefs that were created because of the abuse. So we really have to notice what beliefs are in my subconscious mind and are playing out in my life. Beliefs like, I am bad, I am unlovable, there's something wrong with me. We have to realize that these beliefs were never ours to begin with. They were conditioned into our subconscious mind because of the abuse. Now we have to condition our nervous system, our subconscious mind, to remove them like splinters that are stuck in our soul. Tip number 4 is slowly expanding our capacity to sit with safety without feeling the urge to run back into the chaos. There are great exercises that somatic experiencing helps us with, such as pendulation, titration, exercises that help us to build the capacity to feel safe being safe. Tip number 5 is learning how to slowly thaw out of freeze mode. We have to be gentle with freeze, because freeze, which feels like numbness and disconnect, it feels like no emotion, is actually so much emotion that the body's giving you emotional Novocaine. And if you go too fast, you can re-traumatize yourself. So it's really about learning how to gently come out of freeze and reintroduce small doses of safe activation in your body. Tip number 6, breaking free means rewiring your brain to recognize consistent safety as the real form of love. Chaos, abuse is not love, and we have to help our body to learn how to be more comfortable in healthy relationship patterns. Tip number 7 is stepping into self-love requires tolerating the discomfort of not feeling shame. Now, that sounds like an easy one, but I can't tell you how many times in the School of Transformation where we're doing an exercise and I tell the members to just imagine like feeling like you're good enough just as you are. You are good, you are worthy, you are enough. And what comes up in their body is activation and fear. So it's a learning process of learning how to step into self-love. Tip number 8, healing is about reclaiming your authentic self. We don't want to get rid of our protective self, but how to help our body and our mind to realize that the protective self is there for emergencies. It was never meant to take the reins of your life 24/7. And so we want our authentic self to do that. So we learn how to do that one small step at a time. Tip number 9 is somatic healing allows the body to release the trauma instead of just intellectualizing it. I know with myself, I just wanted to learn what I had to do. I wanted to just watch a video. I wanted to read a book, and I wanted to heal. But all of that was learning, and it was helpful. I then had to find a resource that helped me to embody all that I was learning. We can't intellectualize our way through healing.